Like the Amityville Horror House. Some people in Massapequa talk about the horror house. The horror house. The Massapequa horror house. There's this mother and stepfather with the 40-year-old schizophrenic son. Some people think it's a real volatile situation. Some people think it's going to end like a powder keg. Some people think it's going to end in disaster. The horror house. The horror house. The Massapequa horror house. But I disagree. They all get along harmoniously. I disagree. It's like an 80s sitcom. It's feel good. It's true love. Everybody gets along and there's tons of peace and harmony. And the horror house. The horror house. The Massapequa horror house. So don't jump to conclusions that schizophrenics are violent. Don't jump to conclusions it's gonna end in disaster. Cause you don't know what you're talking about. It ain't gonna end like the Amityville Horror House. On the contrary, it's going to end like rainbows and butterflies. With the schizophrenic becoming rich and famous from social media. Then it will literally end like an 80s sitcom when they make the movie about their lives in the horror house. The horror house. The Massapequa horror house. And not all schizophrenics are violent, so don't stigmatize, don't stereotype. Some schizophrenics are men of peace. They're men of love. So don't jump to the conclusion this is gonna end in the horror house. The horror house. The Massapequa horror house. Cause it's not. It's gonna end like a feel-good Hollywood movie, with them all being rich and famous and successful. It's not gonna end in disaster. It's not gonna end like a powder keg. It's gonna end like an 80s sitcom in the horror house. The horror house. The Massapequa horror house. It's a non-stop party. It's non-stop fun in the horror house.